evening. Wow, back again. Purpose driven life, Instagram live. Jernine Russell, bringing it back to you after the summer break. Just feeling refreshed, revitalized, ready to bring some more energy, some more interesting and inspirational guests. And just, glad to be back. I'm so glad to be back. So I hope everybody is well. I am feeling good. It's Monday and it's the 6th of September. And the kids, most of the kids went back today, which is great. I've still got one who's off for a whole extra week, but we keep it moving. So I am here. If you haven't joined me before, this is Purpose Driven Life. We speak to lots of different guests on a weekly basis and they share their purpose journey with us. And we are just getting ready for our guest. I'm just going to continue and then I will invite her. We have been doing this since March. I think it was around the 15th of March. After having a little moment in my kitchen where I felt something say, you need to speak to people about purpose. For people who have seen this already, I love purpose. I love walking in my purpose. It makes me get up in the morning. It makes me have the energy and the drive and the zest for life. So that is why I like to talk about purpose. Evening, Nick. Hope you are well. I'm trying to do too many things at the same time. What have I done? Can't get back to normal now. Anyway, how do I get that back down again? So, what I was saying was that we've been doing this for some time. I love talking about purpose and I'm hoping that this is really going to bless somebody, going to help somebody who may be struggling to know what their purpose is, or maybe they know what their purpose is but they're not walking in it yet, and this is like a little bit of encouragement to get them on the journey. So I'm hoping that this will bless you. I have spoken to so many different people. If you haven't seen it before and you want to know more about it, go on my Instagram page, and lots of them are on Instagram TV of all the pre-recorded, the ones that I recorded weeks and weeks ago, of all different shapes and forms of guests. We've had actors, we've had singers, we've had people into property, we've had my lovely husband Marlon, we've had so many different people. Everybody's got a different journey and there is a message for everybody. So it'll be really nice for you to go back and watch and just tune in and just know what we're doing here. I'm loving it, I'm enjoying it, but I did need a little bit of a reset and recuperation. So I'm back now and I've got an amazing guest joining me in a second. And you know what's really interesting? Most of the guests, I know them on a personal level, or we've had some sort of interaction. This young lady I met in a coffee shop in Walthamstow one day, and we just got talking and we just kept seeing each other in Walthamstow, and we've just connected on social media, and her journey has just really encouraged me. It really keeps me motivated, and when I feel like I've had enough or I'm fed up, there's always a little post that she posts that just keeps me on my toes. So I love it and I love her, and I'm going to welcome her to join me. Good evening, everyone. So nice of you to join me after this time off. Good evening. How are you?
Hey, sis. I'm good. I'll be putting on these filters, girl. There we go. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It feels really nice to be back. I didn't even realize it's
Yeah.
been that long. But yeah, it's good. It's just having to organize myself to make sure that my
Mm.
children are in their beds so they don't come and make a guest appearance.
As they do.
Especially because the youngest one is not back at school until next Monday.
Yeah, I heard you say one's got a week left. I'm like, wow, okay.
Yes, you know that there was flooding in Walthamstow,
Oh, I didn't.
and well, this was a little while ago. There was this
Okay.
torrential rain, and it flooded the school. And because
Oh,
of that, they're having to do a lot of building work. So they've taken an extra week for summer
yeah.
and then 2 week half term. And I'm just like,
This is like, yeah, time for you to go back to normal now.
yes, it's that time. It's that
Yeah,
time. So
yeah.
thank you for joining me first and foremost.
No, thank you for having me. Can you see me properly? I'm
I
trying to.
can see you.
Yeah, we good? Okay, good.
Yes, we're good. I was just saying that we had this God incidents, I like to call them, when you
Ah,
just
I love
kind of,
that.
when you just bump into somebody and it's like, oh, we were
Mm-hmm.
meant to align, we were meant to cross paths, and I just love the
Yep.
way that, things happen, even though that was a long time ago.
A very long time ago. Like it must be at least it's I think it's about 3 or 4 years.
I was gonna say 3 or 4 myself, so let's call it
Yeah.
3.5.
Yeah. It was somewhere around that, yeah. And
Yeah,
I was going through it. Do you remember at that time?
I
Like
do. I
I
do.
was
I
going
do.
through
But
it.
you know what? Even though you were going through it, your faith was just unbelievable. No, seriously, like you just kept saying, I
Uh,
know it's going to be okay. I know it's going to be okay. I'm going to get through it. And, I think we said,
Absolutely.
yeah. And look, we're here and it's okay.
And I'm not homeless.
No, you're not homeless. We thank God for
That's what
that.
it was.
Yep.
So
But
yeah.
yeah, um, I've just been following your journey on Insta. I love on
Yeah.
Insta for that reason.
Yeah.
And just loving what you're doing for the kingdom. I'm loving what you're doing for women and just the inspiration, the motivation, the encouragement.
Oh,
And
thank
yeah, I know that it takes a lot to pour that out to people.
you.
So I just want to remind you to keep going, even when it
Thanks,
feels like
sis.
nothing is happening, or
Come
you think that nobody's listening or nobody's watching. They
on.
are,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
sometimes they just don't press the like button, they don't
In
comment,
it,
they just
these
take it
people.
in, and yeah, I just keep
Yeah.
going.
Thank you, sis.
It blesses me, I'm telling you,
Oh,
definitely.
yay. That it blesses me when you say it blesses you. I'm like, yay. I'm
Yes,
like, if it's one person, then you know, it's one
that's
person
all we need.
can be blessed. Exactly. That's it. You don't know who
Definitely.
God called you to talk to from one day to the next just by being obedient to Him. So yeah,
That
it's
is very
a
true. And
blessing.
this purpose-driven life is obedience, because it's it's not my thing. It was just something that I was asked to do, another
Yeah.
assignment, and I'm like, oh my gosh, another one. No,
Mhm.
what is
Yeah.
what is this?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm
Assignment
just
after
like,
assignment.
how many things do you want me to do?
Listen, you know those ones where it's like those talents, isn't it? So like you get it and then you're diligent over what you get. So then you're gonna get more. Like if you don't want no
That
more, then you just stop being obedient.
that
Which
is
is
true,
not
and I don't want to
I'm not
bury my
advising you.
talent. I don't ever want to bury it. So
Exactly.
okay,
Exactly.
when you say it like that,
You know, we thank God for the
we
multiplication.
do. We do. What I wanted you to do is just introduce yourself, tell us a
Mhm.
little tiny bit about you, and then I will go into my questions.
Okay, cool. So my name is Lorelle Maxime. I am a simple term is a Christian business coach. I help Christian entrepreneurs, specifically women, to really move past fear, start their businesses, grow their businesses, get out of their head. Because we'll get into it. I won't say too much, but for me, I'm just so frustrated when I see so much on the inside of a woman of God and she's crippled by fear. It jars me to no end, and I'll stop there because obviously once we get into it, we can get into it. So
I
yeah,
feel like
that's me.
I'm gonna just turn you off right now because
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's like saying my whole life story. Yeah, fear has been, it's
Mm,
been, I've really, really, really battled with fear.
yeah, yeah,
Even, you know, I still walk sometimes,
yeah,
but I'm getting better and just
yeah,
going for it instead of letting it paralyze me. Before, it definitely, definitely held me captive, literally.
yeah. Me too, sis. Me
Yeah.
too. But as soon as I got
So,
free, I was like, everybody come.
yeah, I love that.
Everybody
I love
come.
that. I love that.
I hate it.
Um, yeah, so oh, when I hear that word fear, but yeah, it's what you make it, isn't it? And you've got to turn it around. What's the other? False evidence appearing real. That's what my friend told me.
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. My dad, I remember my dad said that to me like yonker donks ago, and I'm like, okay. But then for me, when I think about fear, or even if fear, because you've got fear, the spirit, isn't it? That God talks about the spirit of fear. So we
Yeah.
know fear is a spirit. So whenever I sense the spirit of fear trying to come upon me, the scripture, you already know
Mhm.
this, like you probably see my page, I'm all like, listen, fight with the word of God. Like
Yep.
that's the sword that we have, right? So it's like God did not give me a spirit of fear, but of love. Is it love, power, and a sound mind?
Yep. Yep.
Right. Why do
Yep.
I feel that? It is, yeah. I don't know
Maybe
what
it
I
might
thought.
not be in
Love
the right
sounded
order,
off
but
today
it,
for me.
yeah.
You said, Joe, if it's the right order. Yeah, love, power, and a sound mind. Power, love, and a sound. Maybe it's a different order. But yeah, I think about that. I decree and declare that if you want to get into it, we can get into it. But just like even just breaking down that whole, what does love look like in the face of the spirit of fear? Like, what does a sound mind look like in the face of the spirit of fear? And what does power look like? Because it's easy to quote it, but what is God actually saying there? What is he saying that we have a spirit of? If we have a sound mind, that really for me, a sound mind is a mind tuned into the will of God, the word of God, and the truth of God, right? And if God says that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, that's what we can do. Do you know what I mean? If he says no harm's going to come near our dwelling, that's what's going to happen. If he says no
Mm.
weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises up against you is condemned, that's what it is. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's
Yep.
like when you begin to break it down and really pay attention to what God's saying, rather than us regurgitating things we learned, along the way, to say when you called your friend, they were like, just quote the scripture and just pray in tongues. And this time they ain't got no understanding. But yes, go ahead. I will preach otherwise, sis.
So, yeah, no, I think this is something that we all need to hear because I
Mm,
think so many of us um battle. I think even the most successful entrepreneur battles with fear. I'm sure there's times when they still get
100.
scared of doing things. And I think I just think about, even today, my son was at the
Mm.
park and there's this little like, them kind of BMX ramp things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And about a few months ago, he couldn't go down this thing. He just stood at the top and he said he's too scared
yeah.
and he wouldn't go down it. And I kept saying, but you can do this. You got this. You're really, I just started to
Mm,
say these little affirmations. You're bold,
yeah,
you're strong, you're courageous, you know,
yeah.
and it took a little bit of thing. And eventually he went down this thing. And I think
Uh-huh.
of it, he's got this childlike faith and we almost have to have this childlike faith and we
Eh,
have to really declare things. And even when we're scared, we still have to
mm,
go forward. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise,
absolutely.
you just end up still and not doing the things that you're supposed to do, really. And I,
100%.
as I said, I can definitely uh, speak so much about how it delayed fear has really delayed me, held me back from
Yeah.
doing things. But yeah, I think that is just awesome that you're what's the word I'm looking for? You've been scared, but you now that you've been able to conquer that fear,
Mm,
it's empowering others with the
yeah.
same. it's almost like using your testimony to help other people, isn't it?
Yeah, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. You know, that exactly that. And I have to say, like, fear still try. Like I said, it still tries to come. I don't ever want to be anywhere and be like, oh yeah, you know, like I don't ever experience it. It tries to come. It does. But it's just knowing now how to deal with that and really, you know, renew your mind, all that kind of stuff, to be able to deal with it and keep it pushing.
That is it. That is amazing. Right. So I was telling everybody how this started. It's that little nudge that I get from, as I fondly call him, Dad. Yeah.
Isn't it,
He
Papa?
prods me and he says, well, I think you need to talk to people about purpose. And I thought, what? What are you talking about? What, me? Who, me?
Yes.
So then he said, yeah, you. And I was like, well, how am I going to do that? How am I going to talk about purpose? Well, I haven't got this, I haven't got that. And he said, use what you have. And I was like, okay. So I have a phone and we have Instagram Live. And that's it. So whatever it becomes, I don't know what it's going to become, because Dad just doesn't like to show me the mountaintop. He just shows me one step.
Oh, I just got a word right there, sis. It's not even what is it going to become, it's who is becoming because of your obedience. My Lord. Ooh,
well,
that hit me in my belly, that one.
And you know what? I read Michelle Obama's book, and you know that it's called
really?
Becoming. Yes.
Do you know what? I've never read it. I shouldn't say that too loud. My son bought it for me, because my son bought it for me and I still haven't read it. And he doesn't like it.
It's a long book.
Yeah.
But there's some gems in there.
Yeah. Actually, to be honest, it's not really my kind of thing. I read, I'm always in like self-help, Bible study, that kind of.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
It is, because I like self-help things as well.
Yeah.
But what I really like her, and I find her very encouraging.
Okay.
Although it's her story, there's a lot of encouragement and self-help things in there. I think you will like it. Okay. It's worth the read, definitely.
When I saw the thickness, I said it's not that
big. No, it's a big old book.
Yeah, it's like.
Yes, it is a big book.
Can you see the comments? I can see her name. I hope she doesn't mind me saying her name. Afro Bix Fitness. I'll call that just in case you mind me saying your name. She said, "This is a confirmation on what God has been speaking to me. Today." I saw that when we were talking about fear, and then she said about just having to be obedient. Absolutely. But yes, carry on, sis. So God told you to do this thing. Let's go.
To do this thing. And I was like, all right, Dad, I'll do it. Don't know why or what it's gonna, whatever, but you've told me why, which is cool.
He told me to tell you, innit?
that is amazing. And I've had, different people like just come in and saying, oh, you know what, I've really got something from it. And what I love, it's not just me saying, we're speaking, people get inspired by people's stories.
Absolutely.
And their journeys and their, I don't want to just be Instagram, like makeup did, whatever. I want to know what was the process to get to that point. If you wanted to see what my hair looked like to get these curls, you would be like, rah, this is a transformation.
And I done one little pencil in my eyebrow and lip gloss. I said, that's the end of the thing. Do you see, I just put a filter on. I'm not here for it. I
didn't even know that you could actually put a filter on. Anyway, I'm not really into filters, to be fair. I'm going to be very real. I don't ever use them. No.
Oh, I do sometimes. Cool. I can't be bothered. Saves me makeup or whatever.
Yeah. Listen, just a bit of eyebrow, same. And well, I had big doo-doo plaits in my hair, so they had to come out. So, But what I was saying is that the process and the journey is what people learn from. I feel like when people share, because nobody just arrived. We didn't just become. There was a process of becoming. There's a whole long story behind how somebody got to where they are. Absolutely. And I feel like that is the beauty of this, and the fact that we have different people every week means not everybody resonates. I'm not going to resonate with everybody, but my guest might resonate with somebody.
Exactly.
And I've just I found that obviously different people come with their different following, and I had one evening where
Oh,
I had a guy who's in the music industry, so there was a lot of like music people, and
that must have been
we got into
interesting.
this whole debate about music and what, you know, what your kids should listen to, what you shouldn't let. Why you let, anyway, it was just, it went a little bit left, but
Left.
it's still good to
Yeah.
hear everybody's journey and their kind of opinions and whatever. And
Mm,
the beauty of it is that I'm entitled to my opinion and my views, and you're
absolutely.
entitled to yours. And no one, I'm not upset with anybody if they
Yeah.
got different ones from mine. So it's all good.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah,
all about purpose.
yeah,
It's all about purpose.
yeah.
And I just believe that we are all, I'm not going to say that actually. I don't want to steal what you might answer. But
Oh,
yeah, purpose.
you can say what you want, sis, but I don't mind
No, I'm
repeating
not
mine.
going to say it because it alludes to the question that I'm about to ask.
Okay, okay.
And that is, what does purpose mean to you?
Purpose for me is God designed us, formed and fashioned us in the womb before. Do you know what I mean? And we were created for a reason. For me, that's the purpose. Why has God put me in this earth? What is the work that He's given me to do? Who is that work, you know, for? Like, who am I called to? That's what purpose is. It's our innate design. You know, it's in our blueprint of our DNA. It's that
Yeah,
thing that, you know, sometimes you don't even realize, but when you check it, 9 times out of 10, when you think back to when you were younger, there's things that you're still passionate about today that you were passionate about back in the day, or people would call upon you for in that area. And it's like full circle. It's like, oh, I didn't know why I felt so passionate about that, or so this, not realizing it was our DNA, like literally. So that's what purpose is for me.
exactly why I didn't say anything. I knew,
I was
I
like,
had a
hey.
feeling, you know,
Yeah,
I just kind of knew you were going to answer
that way.
similarly
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
way that I would answer it, because I feel
Okay.
like it is definitely something that, you know, God has put us here for a reason.
Oh,
There is, you know,
mm,
and knowing and
oh,
understanding what our purpose is gives us
mm.
more meaning, and we live in a
Exactly.
different way. And that's why this is so important to me, because I
Yeah,
feel like some people are just existing, they're
it's
not
really hard when it's
living.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I've
can
been
I
there.
say, oh, go on.
No, I was going to say I've been there.
Yeah,
I've
me
been
too.
lost. I've been searching. I've been feeling like, well, gosh, there must be more to life than this.
Mm,
Definitely at times of my life, I felt like that.
yeah. Oh, no, I was just gonna say as well, because I get questions about purpose and stuff naturally, but as well, sometimes our human minds tries to limit purpose to a specific thing.
Yeah.
It's not wow, Lorelle, specific
Definitely.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm like Pacific, like I can't talk. It's not a specific thing. It's purpose is also a journey of discovery, and it's getting still enough. Sometimes we're looking so much outside of ourselves. What am I supposed to do? What am I here for? Be still and know that I am God. Be
Yeah.
still and look to me, because I'm your mirror. I'm going to show you exactly how I created and designed you if you would just be still. you know Someone's got a question. I don't know if you want to take it now or later.
Let me see. When did you recognize your purpose? Who's that for?
You can both answer, I suppose.
uh, I would say very quickly
Mm-hmm.
that my purpose has been revealed. I've said it before about the mountaintop. I
Mm,
feel like God sometimes shows people the mountaintop. So He shows them the ultimate goal and
yeah,
the where they're destined to go to.
yeah.
With me, He definitely don't do that, because I think if He showed me that mountaintop, I'd be so damn scared. I would run the other way. So with me, He just shows me a step. And as
Wow.
I take that step, then He reveals another piece of the puzzle. And I feel like that's how purpose has been for me. It's a
Mm,
journey that I'm still on. I'm still
mm,
discovering parts of my purpose. But I definitely feel like when you're talking about when we were younger and things, that I've always been very talkative.
Mm.
from a very young lady.
Come through.
Evidently. That's the only thing I used to get in trouble for at school.
Me too. Well, that was
So
all.
I'm always like, well, look at this, look at me now, look at where's my teachers? Look, I'm chatting now. Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, yeah.
But I've also had this just fascination for prison
Mm,
and understanding the mind of
yeah.
like psychology of criminals and crime and stuff
Mm,
like that. So that's
yeah.
been from a young age. So I kind of am trying to merge the two of them together. And I love to help people is the other thing. So
Mm,
it's almost like it's, I've walked on that path, but every now and again, I
mm,
might kind of go off to the left and then I'm like, oh, I really like doing this. Or, like writing, I've loved writing since I was
mm.
little and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just a messenger to feel and experience this life and relate to him. Amen.
Mhm.
Definitely. So what about you? When was it revealed to you?
I guess like what we say about childhood and seeing certain things in childhood, but I would say in about 2011-ish,
Mhm.
I had a vision. And I was like, God, no, not me. Okay. I was like, and I done that. I avoided, and what that vision was about speaking, first of all, that one. And it was like, I just tried to go left, right, everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Even now, I was doing more speaking before, obviously lockdown and stuff like that. But even like now, I've started speaking more again. But I would say 2011 was when God gave me the vision for it. It's like when you think back on it, it's like it's always been inside of me. I always knew, but there was a part of me that felt like, and there's been other things that he showed me afterwards, but there was a part of me that felt like, who am I to even think that I could be that?
Mm.
Because what I've seen around me and what I've grown up in, it is not that large. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like
Mhm.
there's that thing of then shrinking back or feeling like you're being boastful for even desiring what God has shown you, or you start talking yourself out of it, like, oh no, that's not that's for other people type thing. But I'd say 2011 was when I was shown. I think I was shown something again probably in about 2017-ish. Something else like confirmation on top. So yeah, I guess I kind of stick to what I was saying before. It's definitely a process. But what I would say about that's why I said it's not just one thing. And then let's also put in it's not necessarily just one time. It's a series of walking it out. Because if you stand
Mhm.
still, you're going to continuously have the frustration of what is my purpose, because you're not journeying so that more can be revealed.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely. I hope that answered your question. I think it's Chantal.
Yeah, it was Chantel.
So you've alluded to it a little bit, but what would you say your purpose is?
My purpose is to there's a few things. So tear down and uproot. Like I'm not about falsehood. You probably realize I'm not fake. I'm not none of those stuff. And I don't like the like false doctrine. Like don't chat rubbish,
Mm.
basically. Yeah. So tear down, uproot, but also build. I feel like the building comes in when I'm, speaking to women and really encouraging and really trying to get them to see the power of God on the inside of them, and also to raise up kingdom female entrepreneurs. And I feel like when I get married, because I'm not married yet, I feel like the men will come into it then. But currently, to raise up kingdom female entrepreneurs so that we can increase kingdom wealth, so we can advance the kingdom of God on earth via our finances. So bringing kingdom wealth. So that's what I believe. That's what I know of my purpose right now.
Mhm.
And also relationships. It's I co-parent with my son's dad, and we do that very well. But I've always had a interest and a love and just a natural understanding of how to operate in relationship.
Mhm.
And do that healthily. That's another thing where it comes into. So even sometimes when I'm coaching my clients and stuff like that, relationships come in. It might be about their husband, or do you know what I mean? And then we start getting into that and really digging into some stuff like that. So really establishing as well the woman's place as a believer in the household, not just, you know, oh, you're supposed to be meek and not that kind of stuff. Because Proverbs 31, people talk about it, but the woman was a multifaceted woman who was also a businesswoman. You know, she went out, she bought land, she sold clothes, but she also took care of her home. I'm not saying we do everything on our own, but I really just am passionate as well about us as women knowing what our power is. Let's stop trying to come with this masculine energy, right? To
Mm.
match. We don't need to match, we complement.
Yes,
We
I love
are
that.
two sides, do you know what I mean, to one coin
Mhm.
type thing when it comes
Mhm.
to a man and woman relationship. So that's it's all up in there, but I'm about the ladies and my sisters really.
I just love that. I come on here, and although I know what you do,
Mm.
it's really just enriching to hear
Oh,
someone who it's almost like identical, because I
I love.
relate to everything that you're saying, from
Yeah,
relationships to the women, to the book that I've just written about is about marriage, and
right.
you know one of the chapters is about submission. And when you say that to
I love that
a
word, you
lot
know.
of black women, it's like I'm swearing at them,
Exactly. Did you
because
put
they're
what
like,
was the
what?
chapter
Say
called?
what support, and
Exactly.
I'm
I'm
like,
not submitting to no man.
yes. And I thought,
I was her,
listen,
by the way. I was her. Don't get it
can,
twisted. Back in the day, I was real gangster. I wasn't here
can
for
I
none of it.
I struggled with submission, yes, for a very long time.
Yeah,
I'm still working at it.
yeah, yeah.
um and I think sometimes it's about understanding things properly. And you touched on it earlier when you were talking about we've recited scripture without knowing the meaning of it sometimes.
Yeah, yeah,
So the highly favored boss has said, I used to cringe at the thought of submission too. Yes.
yeah. Can I just say I love highly favored ones. We've only just connected recently, but you know, there's just some people in life that you connect with, like us, and it's
Yeah.
like you just know. So hey, lady, I love you. But carry on.
Oh, that's lovely. And I think, yeah, submission, when we don't understand it, and when we don't kind of digest what the word is saying about submission, because it's saying that we're submitting to a man who submits to God.
Mhm. Mhm.
So he's showing us
Mhm.
what submission looks like.
Yeah.
And when we
Yeah.
submit to God, I don't know about you, but I've definitely struggled with it.
Mhm. 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 Yep.
It's
Yep. Yep.
been a journey.
Yep.
But when you're able to witness and experience and watch somebody be able to submit, it teaches you how
Mm,
to submit. And you're
absolutely.
able to do it in a way that you're not resentful, you're
Mhm.
not upset, you're not angry about it, because
Mhm.
it's like submission can be quite beautiful when
Absolutely.
the person leading is
Mhm.
somebody that is worth submitting to, and that is
Yeah.
capable and is a good leader, a great leader.
Mm. And the thing
When
is, oh, go on, sis. Go
oh
ahead.
my God, no, it's okay, sorry.
No, no, no. I was gonna say the thing is as well, like with submission. So first of all, sub is something that goes below something,
Yeah.
and what I mean by that is not necessarily that you are below your husband in the
Mm,
sense of he's more important, but something like faith is the substance, it's the thing that we stand on, right?
yeah.
So what really is, what as a woman, by us submitting, what we're doing is we are undergirding our husband's mission,
Yes,
right?
that's
So we're
exactly. Yep.
partnering on that mission
Mhm.
naturally by God's grace. That's why we're not doing this, try not to do this unevenly yoked business. And I'm not just talking about the first level of that where he just needs to be Christian. It needs to be more than that, you know. We're
Mhm.
talking about purpose. So he's your
Yeah.
purposes
It's got
should,
to be.
they need to
Yeah.
align in some way,
Yeah.
shape, or form so that you can submit to his mission
Yeah.
as well. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep. It is so important. But and I think when we understand and know ourselves and know our
Come on.
purpose,
This is it.
this means
100%.
that we're not gonna just date anybody. You're not
Trust
gonna
me.
just be with anybody, because
Facts.
you've got to be able to say, I am going to be under your mission. I
Hmm.
believe in what you're doing,
Exactly.
and
Trust
I
your
think that
leading.
this is it. And you're not gonna, oh man, it's almost like, do you
You
remember that?
said, oh man.
What's
Yeah.
that?
You said, oh
Why
man.
is my thing not going up? Did someone say, I can't see the comment?
No, no, I'm saying you
Oh,
said, oh man. You were like, oh man. Like with this whole submission thing.
yeah, like it's a whole thing. It's hard work.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You're dying to yourself every day, So like yes, it's a beautiful thing, but you see the breath that I have to take sometimes, because yeah, it's actually that deep. It really is.
Wow.
And I think people don't really realize this thing, that we want to be married, but
Hmm.
yeah, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of what's the word? Being able to compromise, and just there's a level of communication, because if you've met somebody and
Mm.
they don't know what their purpose is, how's
Mm.
that going to work then?
It's
Because
not.
how do you know if you're supposed to be together if he doesn't know
Yeah.
what he's anyway, that's a bit, we're
Yeah.
going
We
we're
might have to
going
go,
there,
might have to
but
do another live on that whole thing, like a relationship live or something.
wow, yes, we're gonna I'm actually gonna do the book launch for the marriage book, because I launched it in the middle of COVID, so now
Okay.
things are kind of opening back. I'm able
Yeah.
to do, God gave me this vision a long time ago, and we need to chat. We need to have these things. We need,
Yeah. Because that's what my book is
I'm
on as well, you know. It's
one
not.
of my missions is
Yeah.
for our generation
Mm.
to have a new stance and thriving and healthy and happy marriages,
Come on. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we need help,
100%. I can
because
only
I don't
imagine.
know about you, but I never came from that. So
Yeah. No. No.
the
No. Right.
example I've had hasn't been from my parents. It hasn't been,
Mm.
So
Yeah. You
sometimes
had to learn on the go.
we have to learn on the go. We might see things on TV and think that that's an ideal, which
Mm.
sometimes it really isn't. Um, but there's a lot of learning, and I'm a sharer. When I've learned something, I believe
Yeah.
that I need to pass on that information, that baton, to somebody
Yeah.
else, because I want you to have a happy and healthy and thriving marriage too.
Yeah.
And
100%.
it's not because I'm sitting here, because I don't have a perfect marriage, but I have a relationship with somebody who we're trying, and
Mm.
we are not trying to give up,
Yeah. Come on.
you know,
Yeah.
and and our purposes are definitely aligned. I was
Mm.
actually thinking of this about 2 days ago, and I was saying in my head, wow, if I hadn't have met my husband,
Mm.
I don't think I would be doing some of the things that I'm doing now.
Look at that.
I'm telling you, I definitely
Yeah.
wouldn't, because he's the entrepreneur. That's his brain. That's the way he
Oh,
works.
love it.
But he's pushed that and encouraged and taught me things that have now made me say, right, okay, this can be a business. This can be something that I can, just
Yeah.
little,
Hold on, sis.
little.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm just gonna mute the mic.
You see, these young people don't want to go to their bed.
You know what? I heard his bedroom door open. I thought so. I was waiting for something to happen, but nothing's happening. Like no other lights are coming on, or I can't hear clicking. Do you know? So
Mm.
what are you doing? That's what
Well,
he's
he
like. I
doesn't
need
want
to
to
go.
go. I don't know. It's like they don't want to
He's
go to their bed.
13. He's grown. He's like, I want to go toilet. So what are you doing hanging around? Then go toilet and go bed.
It's because he can hear that mum is doing
But
something.
I already told him I'm doing something already. Like he
Oh,
listen. I
well,
be doing
what
these
can
things
I
all the time.
say?
He knows the drill.
I've got a 13-year-old too.
Oh
So
wow.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's
You got
about a whole
bare
series
lives.
of lives.
For sure. But sorry,
raising
carry on.
teenagers. But yeah, what I was saying is that yeah, we need to, when we're thinking about our relationships, even with our friendships, even
Mm,
with that sisterhood that you're talking about,
yeah.
that has to be aligned. Because
Yeah,
sometimes we've
100%.
got people around us who are, you know, God might have said to you, right, Lorelle, that's your vision. This is what I've given you. And
Yeah.
then you've got a friend who's chatting in your ear saying, no, but I don't think you should do that. You know, I don't think,
Listen.
well, you haven't got enough money or you haven't got this. You don't need those friends around you.
Mm-hmm.
So alignment is so important with your
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah.
And you will find that God places people that
People.
you
Yeah.
least expect. As I said, we
Listen.
met in a coffee shop in
Yeah,
Walthamstow,
exactly. How many years
you
ago?
know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think, and you just never know when that person is going to come into line with your purpose or what it is you have to do.
Yeah,
Because I think
100%.
3 years ago, neither of us were ready to kind of have these conversations.
Yeah, not like this. I was too gang. I was still gang. Like, in the sense of like I've learned to, because I think I was either or. I had to find the my voice without being too harsh, because naturally I'm just like bop is this, isn't it?
Mm.
So I had to learn to be able to deliver without offending. Sometimes people are
Mm-hmm.
going to get offended. You just can't help it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But you know, I had to learn. And then as well, I was scared as well, like to actually speak. I remember I used to hypervent. When I say hyperventilate before lives,
Really?
what? When I say shake, my hand will be shaking, sweating like
Oh,
I'm going on the
wow.
stage. You know, like I had stage fright, like you wouldn't believe. I could speak in front of 3 or 4 people before, and my voice will be shaking, my hands will be sweating. I would like,
Wow.
it was immense. So when God showed me that vision of speaking, that's why I was like, hey, you got the wrong
Oh, I
person.
see.
That's why, because
I just find it so interesting, you know, and how everyone, and that's the thing, people say to me, oh, Jernine, you make this thing look so easy, you look so natural, and I'm like, I don't feel nervous,
mm,
but I think it's because of what he had me do before this.
100, yeah. He prepares you if you
So
let
the preparation for
him.
this
Yeah,
has been from years ago,
yeah.
from many years ago. I found this little sheet the other day of this conference that I spoke at,
Oh,
and I don't even know what year that. I think that's like 2015, and I've
wow,
never spoken at anything before. But
wow.
this pastor, it was like I was volunteering for prison ministry. As I said
Okay,
to you, that's my
yes.
thing. I love,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So I was volunteering for the prison ministry, and they were having this big conference, and I'd only been there for like a couple of months, and he's like, "Oh, I really want you to speak," and I'm like, "Who, me? Why?" "Oh, well, you know, you've got all this experience," and I was like, "Okay." So then that's the first time I felt nervous because I'd never done it really on
Yeah,
that scale before. But then I guess that's preparation for so many of the other things that I've
yeah.
done.
We just
But
have
yeah,
to just say yes,
yeah,
like, and trust and know that God's got you. And if anyone here wants to speak, my thing is this: be yourself.
that's it.
Be yourself. You will not catch Lorelle Maxime on a stage in heels. Okay, I'm not doing it to myself. I just had to work it out, because you have people, and this is nothing against how people dress. Everyone has their own style, what they like, their own image. So like it's remember like a few years ago, it's the blazer, fitted blazer, maybe a pencil trouser, skirt or whatever, peplum, humu, heels,
Yeah.
stiletto. I said, no, I'm not coming to kill myself. I can't do it. It's not me. I would literally be standing there the whole time, so conscious. I had to say to myself, okay, Lorelle, cool. How can you go into these spaces, still look professional? Because I know when I open my mouth, that's the cool. I can do that part. But now, how do I look the part but still make sure I'm me? Because when I show up, if I'm gonna try and be somebody else, you've got the added pressure and thought process of trying to be somebody else. Free
Yeah,
yourself. Just be
yeah,
you.
yeah. I agree. I agree. I don't mind heels.
Yeah,
Although
that's if you can do the heels, then you go.
lockdown is just I don't know, man. Because I've been wearing trainers all the time. I'm gonna have to retrain myself,
Exactly.
really,
Listen, people have
because
to retrain a lot of things from that lockdown. If you weren't moving about, yeah, it's like doing it all new again.
I hear you. I hear you, definitely. So your purpose is speaking, it's encouraging, it's helping women to kind of understand and know who they are and whose they are.
Yeah, knowing who they are, whose they are, but specifically to send them out into business so they can
Yes.
start the business. Yeah, it's not like I'm not interested in other stuff. I
Mm.
am, but the call is on that specifically. Like my
Yes.
heart is like, come on, sis, write that book, do that business,
Mhm.
release that course. That's my heart.
Love that. I love that. How did you know that that was your purpose?
God told me in the simplest. God told me.
Well, for the people that don't hear God or haven't discerned his voice or maybe don't understand or
Mm,
maybe not have a relationship with God for God to speak to them.
mm. Um, so if you don't have a relationship, I still believe God speaks and we and everybody hears, you know. But how would I say it? I remember not being sure if God was speaking to me. And I learned that the fastest way to know if it's God's voice is to move on what you hear, you know.
Hmm.
Because a lot of the time we sit and we're like, did God say that? Is that? And then we're just sitting there looking like this time we ain't done nothing, we ain't moved. So that's how I learned. And I also just trusted that if I get it wrong, just like a loving parent that I am, he's just going to correct me in it. He says he corrects those that he loves. So let me go if I get it wrong, Papa, you know my heart was to serve, okay? Like
Mm.
I thought I was hearing you. Um so yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I felt it within myself from I was young, different things that I was called to. Like I said, I don't think I know that a lot of people ask like, how did you know when? And you know, like the questions that you get
Yeah.
around purpose and stuff. But I cannot emphasize enough like that it is that journey, it is that trusting that thing that's burning on the inside of you and allowing yourself to explore that. You know, there's other things that we get bogged down with in life, but at least try and be intentional about that in small moments of time to give yourself time to really explore the thing that's kind of embering inside. um yeah, that's so I don't have no definitive way other than God told me.
Mm.
um
And
that
the thing
little
is,
idea, where did it come from? How did I know that? Yeah, Alan. Sorry, did you see what you said?
no, I didn't. I don't know why my thing is not.
Oh, is it not
Oh,
scrolling up?
yes, now it is.
Oh,
Oh, yes, it's back now. Be yourself. That's what's needed. Oops. Oh gosh. Where's Alan gone now? That little idea, where did it come from? How did I know that? And
yeah,
the thing, you know what? Somebody
I
said, I
totally
don't
get
know
that.
what. I listen to so many things, like sermons and different things, and
Yeah.
I think I can't even remember who it was that I was listening to recently, and they were saying some people audibly hear God's voice,
Yes.
but most of the time it's just that thing, that thought that comes to you that
Yeah.
came out of nowhere.
That still small voice. Because
Yeah,
that's
but some people are waiting for this.
go and
Hello,
do
hello,
that.
hello. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. And it's not that.
it could be you're watching something on TV, you weren't listening, and then that thing is like, wow, you heard it.
Mm,
And
mm,
that sometimes, and I've always believed that God confirms things. And I remember
mm,
that happened. I was watching something, that was one thing. Then I spoke to my uncle, and he said exactly the same words,
mm.
like what I heard.
Yeah,
And then I was like, oh, okay, all right, cool.
yeah. I
Yeah.
need to do that
But
or
I
whatever.
feel the
100%.
more the more you're obedient to his voice, the more he speaks to you, the more you get familiar with it. So you don't
Exactly.
like now. I don't really question it because I know
Yeah,
it's him.
yeah. Come
Whereas
on.
before, I used to be like, oh, I'm not sure. Sometimes he uses others to speak to us, and we still don't listen.
Listen.
Well, you
Ah,
know what? Could I just say, it's like a child. I don't know if you were little when you were little, you got
Yeah.
licks, yeah. But I did, yeah. And
I know exactly what you
there was
get.
a point in my life when mum didn't have to give me no more licks because I was obedient.
Yeah.
And I
This
think
is
that's the
it.
same for me. Although God doesn't beat me, he does sometimes slap me with the truth or arrest me
Come on.
with, I don't know how to explain it. It's obviously not a physical grabbing me by my
Yeah,
neck, but
yeah.
he grabs me by my neck when I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing or thinking
100%.
or being unkind or whatever it is. He grabs me up.
Yeah. I say
And
sorry
it's
about
like,
that bare times in the day.
listen, I don't know
I'm like,
how to
sorry.
explain that. But for me, I listen
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I know what happens. I know what the consequences are
Hmm.
when I don't listen. It's a bit like a little child when you're teaching them, don't touch the fire. It's hot. It's the same thing. I'm sorry. So for
Yeah.
me,
Been
in
burned
this
too many
walk of,
times.
yeah, mate,
Yeah.
listen, I don't want no more licks. I don't want to repeat the tests again and again. So I'm going to do it right the first time.
Mm,
I'm going to study and revise for the tests that he's
yeah.
given me. So,
Yeah.
you know, so that's what I encourage. And, you know, obedience is rewarded really greatly, really
Mm-hmm.
richly.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be in material things. It's not necessarily money or whatever. But
Yeah.
when you're obedient, what happens is that God trusts you and then he gives you more things.
Yeah.
He asks you to do more things
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because he knows that you're someone that he can come to do what he's asked to do. So for me, that's how I see obedience being rewarded, is that he's constantly telling me, okay, do this, go. It could be even just little things like, I don't know, go and give that person money, go
Yeah.
and pack her shopping, say good morning to this woman that's walking past you.
Come on. Yeah.
It can be tiny,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
once you can obey the little tiny things, then the bigger things come, you know.
Exactly.
As I say, I would not be sitting here if it wasn't for obedience,
Mm,
you know. And it's not because, all right, it's my time, it's whatever, but I love that other people are blessed from what we're doing.
yeah.
You
Exactly.
know, there's a platform that people can ask questions and they can, you know, I just wish I had something like that when I was feeling a little bit like, oh, what is my purpose? Why am I
Yeah.
here? What's the point
It's
of my
true.
life?
It's true. And hearing some normal people, if that makes
Yeah,
sense, like not all up here, because
the hyacinth with a big old hat
you,
on.
you know,
And, yeah, yeah.
just normal people.
People like me and you.
Exactly.
Yeah, obey the tiny things. Oh gosh. Me, I need your glasses, sis.
The
The
air
air
is
is
the
the
gate.
gateway to
These let
wisdom.
me just say this, okay, people. These glasses are fashion, okay? There ain't one lens up in this thing that magnifies anything.
Well, can
uh,
I just say that I actually do wear glasses,
yeah.
but the time that I wore the glasses, the reflection of the ring light looks so bad that I just have
Okay,
to
I'll
keep
give
it
you a
close.
hack for that because can you see it? When I look up, you can see it. You put the phone at a level and the ring light above the phone, not the phone in the ring light, so it doesn't
But you know
reflect into your
what? If
glasses.
you ever see the setup that I've got, sis, it's
Oh, okay.
actually, but with the glasses, I don't know, man. So yeah, I just
Did
thought,
you
you know
read
what?
it? I didn't. Did you manage to
Yeah,
read it?
it was obedience is the gateway. Hold on. You might have to read that for me,
Okay,
babes.
so yes, obey the tiny things. The air is the gateway to the soul. Obedience is the doorway to destiny for sure. Yeah, and I was saying the other day because I was studying like loving God, and I said it on the platform the other day. But also, obedience is evidence of loving God because He
Mm,
says, "If you love me, you'll obey my commands." You know what I mean? So it's an expression of loving, and when you love somebody they love on you, right? And even though God will love us irregardless, but that's where also God gets our love and He pours out.
that is, I definitely, I can put my hands up for that. Yeah, I don't know what else. I can't say it any other way. So tell us this journey of yours. Just give us a little a snippet, an insight. I don't want you to be obedient to me. All I ask is to believe in me. Wow, Alan is Alan.
What does that
I
mean,
can't
Alan? I
remember.
don't get that one though.
Yeah, elaborate for me.
Yeah, I
Alan was
don't
on another
understand.
live. I can't remember which one it was. And
Interesting.
since then, he's been tuning in, which is so nice. And I really appreciate that. But just explain for us, Alan. I don't want you to be obedient to me. All I ask is to believe in me. I feel like, is that God saying that? Or is that what you're saying? I don't know. Is that, let us know, Alan. But yeah, what I was saying to you whilst Alan is typing, what steps have you taken to get to where you are and to walk in your purpose? Give us a little, go back maybe to, I don't know. I remember one of my guests saying at 7,
Mm.
she watched a program
Mm.
and it was it called LA Law with Blair Underwood? Do you remember him?
That's that. Yeah, I remember Blair Underwood. Absolutely.
Right. Most people remember him. Very handsome man. So at 7, she saw that program. And that's when she knew she was going to be a lawyer. That was the seed that was planted then.
Interesting.
Mm.
Interesting. I so say ask the question again so I make sure I answer it properly.
So what steps have you taken
Okay.
to walk in your purpose?
So for me, so from I was young, I didn't even remember until I went back and looked through my Bibles, is that I've always been interested in reading the word. Not always. I'd be at one point I went for a real fight to read the word, but I realized that I've always been interested in it. I've always liked not even before, when I was younger, I just like correcting, forget teach. I didn't know nothing about no teaching, innit? To me, you just got it wrong. Can you get it right, please? Like when when I was younger. But I would say the steps that I've taken when I kind of began to understand what it is, you know, to be a child of God and stuff like that, was really just submitting. You know, there's the submitting part to God, really getting into the word, really trying to learn how to pray. I had to really get over not forgiving myself for certain things, for always feeling like I was a sinner and wrong. So I had to really go through healing. Was another thing that I think that is the important steps that we take as we walk in purpose, is healing from, you know, things of the past and even things that come up. So there's that. Honestly, whenever I speak, I always wonder if people just get fed up with me, but I bang on about the word of God because it literally saved my life. It was in 2000 and I think it was about 2010 or about 2010, 2011. After the breakup with my son's dad, and then I jumped into another relationship after that. And then that one messed up or whatever, I actually wanted to kill myself. I wanted to just die. I remember driving and every time I dropped my son off at his dad's house, I would be in tears. Like I'd wait till my son was, you know, and then cry. I would literally cry the whole way home. And bear in mind, the journey's like an hour and a half, okay? I'll be just crying. So many times I just visualize, like there was even times I closed my eyes while I was driving hoping I would crash, you know. And I remember, you know, I remember being on my knees one night and at the end of my bed, I hadn't really prayed in a long time, and I just said to God, Dad, like, I probably didn't say dad then, I probably said, Lord, like, this is the bottom for me. Like, there is no lower that I can go. If there's lower, kill me now, you know? Like, but where I am, how I feel this low, I can't get out of here on my own. Like, I literally can't. I don't know how you're going to do it, if you're going to do it, but I have nothing left. And yeah, that's when I began to read the word more. The word of God literally saved my life. Philippians 4, verse 6 to 8.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Saved my life, no joke. Like literally, no joke. I typed it up or copied and pasted it onto my laptop, printed it out. I had a blind, so when I woke up in the morning, the first thing I would see was that blind, and I put it there, had it in big enough writing, because I wouldn't get up in the morning sometimes. I wouldn't even bath and stuff because I was going through depression and all that kind of stuff. And I would literally read. I would just read that every single morning, and every morning it was new to me, but it also took a deeper root in me, until eventually I believed. You know, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. My faith began to build that, okay, God can get me through this. And I actually write some of that stuff because I wrote a book on relationships as well. It's called Heal, Recover from Your Ex, Rebuild for the Next. And so from there, I would say that was so important in my purpose, because I learned so much in that valley, in that dark place. I learned so much. I learned how to rely on God and God alone. No one was, it felt like no one was there for me. You know, it felt like no one was there. So yeah, I literally went into this, I felt like I was in school. Literally. I was a student, Holy Spirit was my teacher, and that time was a very interesting time. So that was really the steps I've taken, and I continue to take the same steps because God's word is new in every situation. Like, you know, so I don't even know what I can add. Honestly, it's not, I can probably say some other bits and pieces that I've done. You know, I've studied counseling, for example, because I always felt that, you know, that need to help and be able to advise and stuff like that. I studied many things along my journey, but really the biggest steps I took was actually getting to know myself and getting to know who I am, but also getting to know, because I realized I thought I knew who I was, but who I was in hard times was not enough for me to want to continue to live. So I had to know who I was in Christ. Who does God say I am? Yeah. Because guess what? When I'm trying to slay demons and dragons, so to speak, I'm not enough. If that makes sense, on my own.
I just say I'm very quiet because I can just, I think everybody's got a different version of a story, but it definitely, there's a valley involved in the story. There's a complete kind of low point, a period of darkness, a period of despair, and then turning to God, and God literally saving your life and pulling you out of that valley. I definitely can relate. Mine's just a little bit different things that have caused it or have gotten me to that point. But I can definitely relate. And I think for me, I can only love and trust and honor God in everything I do, because like he literally did save my life. And he and it's that same for me. The thing that I think about when I think about purpose is finding your authentic self and finding who he created you to be before the world, or before your mum, or before your school, or before your friends told you that's who you needed to be. Oh, you need to have your hair like that, or you need to bleach your skin, or you need to have a butt lift, or whatever it is.
All different things.
Who did God make you? He made you a beautiful masterpiece. And it's about learning and understanding that, and being able, for me, like the whole selfie thing. I'm older anyway, so that whole selfie thing was like beyond me. But I went to this workplace, and one of my colleagues, I love her to bits. She just used to take selfies. Like we're walking to like our meeting. Come, Jay, take a selfie. Like, what's wrong with you? And then I realized it's because I didn't like looking at myself.
Wow, I get it.
So when I saw the picture, I was like, oh, I don't want to see that.
Wow.
And then it's almost like having to fall in love with myself again.
Come on.
And that is the journey. And this is the thing. Some people say, oh, but, you know, it's different for different people. Some people say that, oh, we're single, but all this time I was in a relationship. So it wasn't like,
Yeah. Listen, you can
do you know
feel
what I
alone
mean?
in relationships.
You can be in a relationship and still not love yourself, or still
Yeah.
not value yourself, or still not see yourself in the image that God made you. And I've had to go through the whole kind of process and, you know, undoing and unlearning some really bad stuff.
Mm, yep.
And yeah,
I hear you.
you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the girl. I'm here. I'm listening. I hear you. I get it. I get it. 100%. You're 100%. You have to unlearn. You have to unlearn a lot. I actually had a DM earlier because I don't know if Rev's still on here. Rev Pearl. Not from Rev Pearl. I wouldn't call out whose name DM'd me. She didn't DM me. I posted some prayers that she had on her page. That she's written for praying, like if you're single and praying for your spouse, future spouse, and stuff like that. And somebody had DM'd me and was, you know, just saying that, you know, they felt discouraged in that area and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, I remember being like that. I remember feeling discouraged. I remember thinking, oh, is this guy going to be my husband? I remember crying, Lord, why is another year passing? And all this. And it was just like, I had to, like, God just let me know, girl, you need to learn to love who you are. One, you also need to love me. I need to be enough for you. And I began to understand, because the thing is, God is not going to give us something that when we get it, we'll forsake him.
Yeah.
He's not going to give us an idol. Like, yeah, do you know what I mean? We're things in our heart.
He can't give you something that you're not ready to, you're not yet. It's like, it's a bit like a baby is born and the baby has to drink milk, right? Up until they're about, depending on what culture you're from, 4 to 6 months, baby. But we couldn't give a newborn baby mash up rusk or Weetabix. They're not ready. Their system is not yet ready to consume that. And I think it's the same with relationships. If God was to give you a husband today, are you ready to be able to have all of what the skills and all of the healing that you need to be able to make that relationship work? Or do you think you need to do a little bit more work? And a lot of the time, people are desperately wanting to be married.
Yeah.
But there's a work that needs to be done
Absolutely.
first.
Absolutely. And I think with marriage as well, like, unlike, because, you know, like when Israel wanted a king, God knew kings, they didn't need all of that, but they kept pressing. So it's like, okay, you know what, you're gonna have the king. But I think when it comes to marriage and things of that nature, we become one with the person. So it's a whole nother level of hold on a second, and it's that whole thing of God wanting our affections first. Do you know what I mean? Love him first. So I feel like that's for me, when I was like, you know what, okay, cool, Lord, I hear you. And I just began to just focus on myself and my relationship with God. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, Lord, you know what, I get it. Don't give me nothing until I love you above everything, you know, like until you know that I'm sturdy there. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't want to leave him ever. But guess what? Like, you know, when Jesus was like, oh, someone's going to betray me, they were like, who? They knew their heart is so wicked, yeah. They can't even say if it's going to be them or not, because we can sometimes be like, oh, I'd never do this. No, babes, like, you don't know what you're going to do in one situation to the next. You can hope by the grace of God that in your weakness, his strength is made whole, but you don't know. You might just turn around and say, do you know what? Actually, I want that right now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? How much times I buckled under, you know, fornicating, sexing before marriage when I shouldn't have been. I buckled under that thing a few times. Like, let's be honest. But then I had to learn, don't even go near it. No situation. You know how long I didn't date, see no man, nothing. I wasn't here for I didn't even want to, nothing. So God had to break me free from that, because that would have sent me straight to hell.
Oh gosh. So you've given us the lowdown. You've given us the like the uncensored version
It's who I am. Sorry,
um,
guys.
of purpose. You don't need to apologize, and I think that's what I love. It's just unique. You're unique. Everybody's purpose, everybody's walk is different, isn't it? And I love
Mm,
that.
yeah.
And it's about helping others who are on that kind of walk, who are wondering, who are, that's why I talk about the steps. And
Yeah.
sometimes it is, some people need tangible. I'm a tangible person.
Mm, mm, mm.
I need things that I can practically apply to my life.
100%. Yeah, yeah.
So if somebody says, right, you need to do this, this, and this, I'm like, oh, okay, I need to do that. All right, cool. I
Mm.
know, yeah,
I'll give you
I
some of
need,
those as well if you want some. That's fine.
yeah, I just think, I'm just thinking about myself,
Yeah.
maybe, I don't even
No,
know
but
how
I
long
get
ago,
it. I
a
get it
few
because,
years ago,
yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
I was not sure, or what was I, what would I have wanted to hear? What would I
What-
tell my younger self,
Yeah,
you
what
know?
would help you? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So is this, sorry, this might sound like such a random, is this a Christian platform, sis? I think it is. I don't, or is it
You
just
know
about
what?
purpose? I don't
You
know.
know,
It's
love
not,
God,
it's fine.
you know
Yeah,
that
I know you
I'm
do. Yeah.
Christian. I don't shy away from that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I I love everybody. I don't care whether you're
Oh no, I
Christian. I
love
don't
it.
care.
Well,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love everybody
So
too. Um,
I don't know.
okay, cool.
Everybody's I recall as a child walking through a tunnel of light, seeing I knew but didn't know them else. Okay. Alan is really opening up and sharing some things.
Mm.
And I'm just really struggling to read, Alan. So please
Oh,
apologize.
sorry. Do you want me to read it? You can, did you want me to read it or?
No, I've read it. I've
Oh,
read
cool,
it.
cool.
But what I'm saying is, I'm trying to kind
Understand.
of summarize, yeah, and
Mm,
understand the context of it. And I think Alan is sharing different experiences that he's had
got
and
you.
encounters. That's what I believe he's doing here.
Okay, cool.
Which, we're glad that you're sharing that with us and that everybody's feeling open. And I've had all sorts of people sharing all sorts of things on this platform. You would
Amazing.
not believe. But what I was saying is that it's for everybody. And
Yes.
I think for me, why
Yeah.
I say it for everybody,
Yeah.
I've not arrived in my walk with God
Absolutely
where I
not.
am right now. It's been a whole journey.
It's still a journey. Like it doesn't stop. We
Yeah,
still walking.
it never stops.
Mm,
But there were points, especially in the beginning parts of my journey,
mm.
that I felt judged, or I felt excluded, or I felt like I couldn't be myself
Mm.
in
Yeah. Setting.
a Christian setting. So that's
Yeah.
why I don't put that on there,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because I want people to just come as they are. I don't want
100%.
people to feel like, oh, but I'm not perfect, or I'm still doing this, or I haven't done. I don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
We're sharing our journeys, and it just
Mm.
so happens to be that we really are on fire for God, and this is the kingdom
Yeah.
that we're working for.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, our kingdom don't exclude nobody. So
No, it doesn't.
yeah.
Do you know what I was asking? Because I know that all my tips are, but ultimately, whether you're a believer or not, who knows what happens by God's grace. You know what I mean? So practical tips for me, I just had to prioritize reading the word, and studying the word. First and foremost about who am I in Christ, like really understanding that. I read a lot. I'm a learner by nature, so I was reading a lot. A book that is for me life. Two books really that I would say are no free. I've got 3 books that are like life changing. The list is going up, but honestly, life changing for me was Battlefield of the Mind, Joyce Myers. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
Also, yeah, because there was a lot of war going on in my mind. Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Myers. Also, The Believer's Authority by Kenneth Hagin. and also Draw the Circle by is it Mark Batterson? Yeah, I believe it's Mark Batterson. So I did a lot of reading. I also done a lot of crying. You know, like I done a lot of crying. And then what I did is I started to get to a point where I realized the crying was a bit out of control. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, like when you can't control it and like then one tear comes and it's like a river. So I actually just started saying, okay, Lorelle, do you know what? You got 5 minutes to cry this out and get on with your day. Otherwise, it's just going to be, you know, another day spent in your bed crying. So there was that as I moved through the healing process. Then when it came to really getting into purpose and stuff like that, I just began to step out bit by bit, you know, try new things. I think I mentioned it earlier, that little ember in your heart, like try new things around it. Maybe it depends on what it is, do a short course on it. You know, get some information. You'll find if it's your thing, it's going to light you up. Like it's going to light you up. So really take time to explore and get around as well the right people. Like you said it earlier, sis, like that alignment is so important. I began to pray for friends. Like I am actually baptized now because I remember praying and stuff for friends and just, you know, and I wanted to get a job. And I at that time I wanted to teach, funny enough, because I felt like I was called to teach. So I took myself, I said, you know what, Dad, I'm not doing any of these other jobs anymore. I want a job in a college because I'm not here for the primary school and all that. That's too young for me. So I want to do a job in a college. And I actually got the job with no degree, no teaching qualification, never taught a day in my life. They chose me over other people, but it's only God in it. So when I got that job, I actually met my sister friend there when I was working in Wolfram Forest College. If I didn't meet her, I wouldn't have been baptized when I was baptized. She moved all the way from Birmingham. She just upped and left Birmingham, came to London, took a job. She literally started working in the few months before me. So to realize how God orchestrated and brought about that alignment for me, and then I helped her prepare for her marriage or even that. Do you know what I'm saying? And I learned in that relationship, I learned so much patience. I learned grace. I learned so much. She obviously, you know, she had to probably learn to deal with me too because I was hard work as well. But I learned so much. So having that person in my life, so being open to the right people and even just being prayerful about that in everyday life with regards to purpose. Same again, read the word. I read the word. I pray, I journal a lot. Yeah, and I one thing is if you've got I don't even want to say if, because if you're here, if purpose is what we say it is, it should be a priority. So I'm like, prioritize purpose in your day-to-day life. You know, what does your to-do list look like? If you stop and look at your to-do list and it's like, hold on a second, this is a lot of stuff that is just stuff. Do you know what I mean? So become very aware of what you're doing day to day, because before we know it, a year's passed. Like we're almost, let's be honest, we're almost at the end of 2021.
That is true.
It's
coming. Yeah.
So that will be my practical steps. It's not actually anything airy fairy. And another word is consistency.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's
consistency. Just, you know, be consistently intentional.
Yeah.
Consistency, intentionality, and trust me, it will take you where you need to go. You may not get there as fast as you want to get there and all that kind of stuff, but just commit to the consistency, commit to the intentionality. So yeah, that's what I would say. I hope that's practical enough.
I think that's very practical. Thanks for your comment as well, Janet.
Hi, Janet. Janet's known me since I was a kid, like little.
Yes. So she could tell us a few stories about that purpose, or, you know.
Oh, phew. I was about to talk about me. I thought you said you
Yeah,
could
I
tell me.
meant about you. That's what I was
Oh,
talking about. Yes, you're
I was like,
laughing because you're like, I
yeah.
think that's what makes it more real, isn't it? Is that we've all got a real story, you know. We're
Mm.
not oh, it was this perfect child and we just, you know,
But you know what?
yeah.
God uses like those same. What I love is that the same things that people got on me about, like how you said about talking too much in school, for example. I used to talk too much in school. Do you know what I mean? I used to just say what I think and all that. So many of the things that, you know, I was like even just challenging. Like my grandma would always say, like, Lorelle, you're always asking questions. You always got something to say. You always have an answer for everything. Like that's what my grandma would say to me all the time. But these are the same things now that are very valid when it comes to my purpose. I have to be able to ask people hard questions. Do you know what I mean? Especially when I'm coaching. I'm that coach. I will challenge you. Like,
Mm.
I will challenge you. So it's like, I just love how the things that don't seem great when you're young, actually, when you get older, it makes sense.
You know what? And I think of it from a parenting view
Mm?
point of view, because sometimes those things when you're a parent and those, you know, you don't want to break those things, but
Yeah.
you're trying to mold it
Yeah.
and shape them in a way that is still, you know, allowing them to be who they are, but then being respectful and, you know,
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. It's teaching them how to. It's like teaching them how to fight or not fight. That's the best term I've got.
yeah,
But it's training
direct
them.
it. Yeah,
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 definitely, definitely.
100%. Because
I can
these
definitely
kids.
relate to that. Yes, especially when you have teenagers, as we said before. But I've I'm listening. Just let people know
Hmm.
who you are again, what you
Hmm.
do,
Hmm.
where we can find you, because I
Yep.
just feel like there's a lot of women. When I start back with the events, we definitely need to have you come and speak to the women
Yeah.
because you know, well, I do lots of different things, but one of the
Mm.
things that I really love is empowering women, um, not just with business, but with everything. Just sometimes it's just taking that step. It could be to go back to college. It could
Yeah.
be to
Yeah.
leave a relationship that they need to leave.
Come
It
on.
could be, it could just be anything.
Yeah.
And I just think there's a lot of women who want to go into business and they
Yeah.
don't necessarily know where to go or how to. And I just feel like I feel like business is always, I just feel like there's a focus on men in business more than there is of women.
Really.
I do. I don't know
Maybe because of
why.
what? Maybe because of where I like my sphere is women. So I tend to not even notice the guys. I'll be like,
Yeah, I just feel like not now. I
mm,
mean, traditionally, when
mm.
you think of a business person, it's a businessman. You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
that's how you know, old school. I
Right.
think
Right.
now there's more, you know, people are more open to different people doing it. But yeah, I just feel like there was a more of an emphasis for men. And
Mm,
sometimes it's because of, you know, we've got children or,
yeah.
you know, there's more limitations sometimes to a woman.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. There's more that we
Things
have
that,
to navigate.
yes.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, a woman who is actually walking in it is a perfect example to women that it can be done. And the
Mm,
fact that you're raising your teenage son as well,
yeah.
and you're doing it single-handedly as well. Well, co-parenting, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
I
was even
love,
about to correct word because I
I
never.
know I corrected myself because, but then you know what? You're co-parenting, which I think is amazing. And I think there is a niche because there's so many people who need to learn
Oh,
how
this should
to
come with confirmation. You don't
co-parent.
know.
I've
That's like a
listened to
confirmation.
me. I don't even want to start to get into this,
Listen, we
but
got
there are
lives to do.
so
Swear.
many children
Yeah.
who would benefit if their parents were able to have a respectful relationship with the focus on their child and not on the other stuff, for the purpose and the benefit of their children. Anyway,
Listen, do you
that's all
see?
I'm going to
I'm
say.
tightening
As
up
I
my
said,
lips.
so
Yeah.
I'm trying to
tightening
hold
my
that
lips.
because it's something that I feel really passionate about.
Me too. Me too. We're gonna just have to exchange numbers in the DMs and just get some of these lives or whatever we're gonna do to speak about this stuff, because I'm not gonna start talking about it because my lips won't close for probably 5 minutes after. So I'll stay on track.
Yes, we're going to stay with, but I think this is part of purpose anyway. It's all interlinked.
Yeah.
But I think we definitely need to have a discussion about that, and maybe just to ask you how you do it and what because I think there's a lot of women that I see on social media or just in
In life.
general
Yeah.
that I'm just like, sis, get over him, and please don't use those children as the weapon anymore.
Yeah, and as well, sometimes it's not even get over him, it's get over yourself.
Yeah.
You get over yourself. Like, you don't even I've had women ask me, oh, Lorelle, how do you do it like the man and this and that? And and they don't ever like my answers, because the answers require ego to take a seat.
Well, listen, I think, in poetry when they do that, that's what I'm gonna do to the ego, because you're so right. And pride, it's, you know what, and it comes back to the word, because it speaks about all of these things.
Listen.
And how these things are detrimental.
Listen,
anyway,
I had a conversation with my my pastor today, and I said, and that's why I said it's like confirmation, because I literally said to him, we were just talking, and then I said, I do feel like I need to write a book or do something on co-parenting. We've been doing it successfully for my son's 13, so we've been doing it for about 11 years. And like, me and him, we're cool. Like, we're cool. Even me and his partner, do you know what I mean? We can message and stuff if we need to message. Do you know what I mean? There's and it's, people say, oh, but, and I get there's some scenarios that don't permit certain things to take place. I get that. But a lot of the time, the situation, if handled correctly and if people show up correctly in the situation, it can be done. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's like confirmation. So I'm gonna have to get into journal and prayer about that and see where that's gonna go.
Definitely.
Yeah, we got some.
Also includes building positive relationships with the partner too. Yeah, and I just think, man, come on, we're like, I don't know.
We can do another one. It's okay. Like, we're sighing away, boy.
Because it's just, and I think I speak in with lots of different hats as the child.
Yeah, me too.
In the middle of separated, divorced parents.
Wow.
And watching the not speaking and the fight. It's not conducive.
It's not.
And it just ends up causing issues in your kids, man. You don't want your kids to have to go through and have to heal.
Exactly.
The world is hard enough, let alone having to deal with all of that stuff. So
exactly,
it's important as parents that we heal.
Yeah. And that's why the book is called Heal. Literally. That's why, because
so important.
It is like, it is. I'm just gonna, unless you want me to talk on it, other than I'll just,
let me see what the time is. Let me see.
It's 28 past 10.
Wow.
In it, time's gone quickly.
No, we're not going to do it today, but we're going to make a date.
Yes,
to have a conversation. About
relationships and co-parenting.
Yeah, relationships, co-parenting, blended families, all of that.
Yeah.
I can't speak I can only speak from my lived experience.
Me too.
But yeah, I think between us, there's enough to say.
Yeah, and we can just
You know,
listen. The other one, we stay in our lane, man. That's it. Like, what else can I can speak on? What I can speak on, you can speak on what you
yeah.
can speak on, and then if there's holes and there's another scenario, then someone else can do that. You know,
It's true.
you just
Alan
add
said
it
we'll
a
have to
little.
live broadcast more as this is good. Oh, thank you, Alan. I appreciate you, Alan, especially all your input today, this evening. My goodness, I feel like we've gone around the world. We've spoken about so many different things,
Yeah,
mainly about purpose, but how purpose connects and intertwines in so many different areas of our life.
mm-hmm.
And just to remind people that everybody has a purpose. There's a plan and a purpose for your life. And it's just sometimes you've got to go to the source.
Yeah.
You've got to have that relationship with him for him to be able to reveal it to you, because he's the one who made you. He's the one who created your purpose. So if you haven't got a relationship with him, how are you going to find it?
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
100%.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This has been like, I don't know. It's been really, really good. It's the first one. I knew it was going to be fire because I just knew what you would bring, the energy and the gems and you just got passion. And I love that. I love passionate people. I love people committing and making sacrifices to just help other people to walk in where they're supposed to be. Because it's not nice to watch people when they're stuck. I don't like that.
Horrible. That's what I'm saying. I get real frustrated. I have to remind myself, Lorelle,
It's
even
not
if you
you.
want it, not even that. Like, I realize that sometimes, as much as I want it, I can't want it enough for them that they move.
And you know what? It's about knowing when to step back.
Exactly.
As well.
Exactly. 100%. And just let them, that they've got their journey. And just being there when they come
take
back.
ownership of it. You can give the tools, you know.
This is
you
it.
can give all of the
Every
tools.
one of them.
And the tree still ain't cut down. And
This
he's got the electric chainsaw, you know.
Just sitting there. Just sitting there. Like,
but yeah, I've learned that. And it, you know, it's what you said about as long as you can just help one person, you've done your job. You've done your bit.
Yeah.
And the additional ones, the 99 is all right. Just do the one.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, nice.
And people are joining now. We're summing up.
Yeah.
But Lorelle, tell us about what you do, where we can find you. If there's some women on here that really want to approach you about doing some coaching, how do they contact you? Let us know.
So Lorelle Maxime, for those who have just joined, not joined. So basically, I help Kingdom female entrepreneurs to move past fear, get out of their heads, create their offers, write their books, do the things that God is calling them to do, and move into business, like starting their business, starting their brands, and building their business and building their brands. Currently, you can find me, obviously, you can tap up the top where mine and Janine's name is, and you can follow me over there. My DMs are open, so you can feel free to slide in, check the link in my bio. At the minute, I've got something that's closing the doors on Wednesday, actually, called Get It Done, Sis. And it is literally that. It's about you getting it done. It's a 6-month private coaching experience, for Kingdom females who want to either start their business or grow their businesses. So link in bio, send me a DM. I am here to help and serve.
And it's at the Kingdom
Female Exchange. So at the Kingdom Female Exchange is where you find me.
I'm going to tag you and at you when I put it onto the Instagram live. I will also send you the link because I put them on YouTube now. I've actually worked out how to actually do that. This technophobia is getting good with all of this stuff. This is the stuff we have to learn, you know, because, you know.
This is the age. It's what we're living, isn't it? Like, technology, it is what it is. We just have to get with the times when it comes to that stuff. But
the thing is, not everybody's on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it was my sister who's not on Instagram, and she chooses not to be on Instagram.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, how am I supposed to watch it? What about the people who are not on Instagram? I was like, oh, okay, you're right.
Mm,
Okay.
yeah.
YouTube, everybody can watch it on there. So
You can
that's
even
where
turn it
we're
into a
creating.
podcast as well.
That is the plan.
There you go. Love it.
Watch this space. I
Yeah.
don't know when, in the midst of all of these things that I'm trying to do right
Yeah.
now, but don't worry, it's
Podcast
coming.
loading. Love it.
The day of when I don't have to go to work full time is coming. It's coming. It's coming.
I
I'm
will
claiming
add
it.
you to my prayer list.
Yes, please, because I think I've reached that point of
Ready to go.
I'm ready to go. I've got something that I've been working on for 2013
Mm.
when it started. The first kind of seeds were planted, and I've got a really big meeting on Friday. So I'm
Yes,
just
I
like,
remember you said,
Dad,
I'm
yeah,
literally going to write that in my phone right now because I don't want to
please
forget to
do,
pray about it.
Dad. I just, I'm already giving it to him. I don't even know why I'm even saying it. Like, I'm not even sweating, actually. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of walking towards it.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is it. Open doors.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we
I have
need.
it in my phone. I won't forget now.
Yeah. And it's just, and I feel like every time I speak to somebody, it's like there's more alignment because I think, right, okay, if I'm there and
Mm,
I'm working with these women,
yeah,
then this is where Lorelle comes in.
this is
This
it.
is where Charlene comes in. This is where, do you know what I mean? And there's so many
Listen.
people where it just like this.
Yeah, it
And
just, yeah.
they're all women focused as well, which I
Mm,
find like amazing. Not
yeah,
that we don't love men. Well, I love men. I love you
yeah,
lot. But I just feel like we got to do something for the sisterhood as well because,
yeah.
for me, having a baby for
Mm,
the first time completely knocks my confidence.
mm,
And
mm.
that's when fear started to set in,
Wow.
actually. Yeah.
Really? That's so
Mhm.
interesting. I feel like
Yeah.
that's when mine reduced a bit. That's when I became like that. I think that's when I was like, actually, there's more to life than working full time. I actually want to build a life where I'm not dictated to as to when I can see my son, when I can pick him up from school, and those kind of things. And
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, yeah, I just came out the gate hot at that time.
Yeah. So I just,
Thank you,
yeah.
Janet, for Jernine. Janet said open doors confirmation.
Uh,
A confirmation for you. Oh, that would be
yeah.
interesting. Send me a message. I'd love to hear about that.
I think there's lots of confirmation. Alan's given me some tips about doing dual Instagram and Facebook. So people can be on the Facebook
Okay.
of you and Instagram. Yeah, listen, you know what I believe, right?
Mm.
I believe that this platform is here. What I've noticed as well, what a lot of my friends have told me is that they watch it afterwards. So
Uh,
this might not be convenient today, but one of my really good friends, she says to me, she's a head teacher,
mhm.
on the way to school on a Tuesday morning is when she listens to it.
Mhm.
So what I love about this and having it on Instagram, hey Rachel, hope you're well.
Do
Don't
you know
worry.
Rachel? Do you know
I
her?
do.
I know her
I
too.
I think just on Instagram. I don't
Oh,
think
okay.
I've met Rachel. Have I met? Oh, I can't. I think we have met in person. We've got lots of people that
Yeah,
we know of the same people, if that makes sense. So,
yeah. That's what
um,
sisters. Like
yeah, one of the things. Say that again.
I've known her since we were like 4.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
so lovely.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not even gonna hot her up on the internet. That's all I have to say. She knows
but
what I'm talking about.
I think what's nice is that you can go back and watch it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yes, we have met. I was trying to remember. I think it's through Bianca actually. Listen, when you go to events and you
Yeah.
meet so many people, and when you get confused because you've seen people on Instagram and you think you've met them in real life.
Yeah,
Have
you're
you
not
ever do
sure.
that?
I don't do that, to be honest. I get
I
people
do.
like sometimes I speak and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm like, I'm so sorry. What's your Instagram handle?" If you tell me that, then I'll be able
That
to kind of.
helps. Yeah,
But Rachel's Mummy's
that's
Day Out.
true. I know that,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm used to seeing Mummy's Day Out. But
Okay.
and I think because my kids are a bit older, I
Yeah.
missed that kind of bus for Mummy's Day Out a
Yes.
little bit. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
That was actually my
Yeah.
first speaking engagement. Rachel made me speak first, like properly in public. Never done any speaking training before. She asked me. So there's, see what I'm saying?
And this
Another
is it.
purpose alignment there.
And this is the importance of all of us. We've all got different platforms, and it's
Absolutely.
about not competing with each other, but
Mhm.
collaborating
Yeah.
and encouraging and inspiring each other, and not, because I think sometimes it can be this like, oh, well, she's doing this and I'm doing. Come on,
Mhm.
there's room for all of us. There's how
Everyone.
many breads on the when we go to the supermarket? How many breads?
Exactly.
There's
I
so
like
many breads.
Warburton seeded. I'm sure other people like
Do
other
you?
stuff. Yeah.
Well, my kids don't like seeded, so you know, I've had to change it. You know how much bread I got in my cupboard even?
See?
Because one, I like olive bread.
Oh,
They like
really?
Warburton's white bread.
I do like it, but
But if I had to choose, it would be Granary, Hovis Granary. That's
oh,
what it would be.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. See, look at that.
See? So
You
there's
don't-
Lorelle, there's Rachel, there's Jernine, there's all sorts of different people.
Yeah.
We're all, it's just like the tea and your teas. Everybody likes
Different
it
way.
made a little bit different.
100%.
Kingdom purpose has alignment and a roadmap.
Mm.
Yes, you are definitely right. And I feel like the map has got different stopping points where we're meeting.
Absolutely.
So there might be a service station that we say, right, we're both going to get a Costa.
Yeah.
And we're not there, you know, on
Yeah,
that map,
literally.
on that journey. You know.
Meat over coffee.
I do love a little analogy, me.
So crack me.
But what I was going to say is the people that have just joined, you can watch it back on Instagram Live, or by tomorrow it will be up on YouTube.
Amazing.
Go back and watch some of the old ones, because there's some real gems. There's some amazing people. And what I love about this platform is my first platform that it's not just women. I actually have men,
Yeah.
which is the first time I've actually been able to have. I've got so many amazing male friends who I don't ever get to speak because everything is female oriented.
Yeah. But I like when men
blessing.
speak to women though at the same time.
Oh,
I think they bring a different, they're obviously naturally they're men, so they bring a different thing, especially when, you know, the man is healed and he's in a good space.
I love the way you say that. When he's healed.
Yeah, we don't want no madness, you know what I mean? Come talk smack. No. So, yeah. It's nice.
But I just appreciate you taking your time this evening to share your journey with us.
Yeah, no worries. It's been amazing.
Yeah, just keep it up. And yeah, I'm a fan of your page. I love reading and learning and just the way that you interact. Your real game is on point as well.
Yes,
you know?
Thank you,
for
Lord.
the people who are 40 plus like me, like, oh mate, I don't know, I can't keep up with all of this stuff, you know.
But I
feel
don't
like
keep up, you know, honestly. If you notice, you ain't seen me dancing, doing all this nuts.
Oh no,
I'm not.
listen, I can't. When that whole TikTok craze came, I said to my kids, that's not happening.
I've got a TikTok account. I don't even go on TikTok. Like, let me be honest, I don't.
I just feel like, no, I know we're diverging, but yeah, you know what will really upset me? When George Floyd, sorry for the complete life of me, the name just
you just went blank.
It completely went blank when George Floyd, when that incident happened. Obviously it was on the news or whatever. I don't really watch the news, and I didn't want to watch it because I'm a really visual person, and I just felt like it was going to be a lot.
Yeah,
but it was on TikTok, and my daughter saw it. And I said to her, that is the reason that I told you that this is not for you.
This is it.
Because I don't know who's putting those things on there, and I can't keep up with the amount of,
it's too much.
Know, they're sending all this stuff.
Every minute your eyes, like looking. There's
it's just too much. It's too much. So for me, when that happened, I was like, that just confirmed the reason why I'm not really on it. But listen, everybody do what you want to do, whatever makes you
Yeah.
happy, whatever works for you.
Okay.
I will just be just doing a little video and a live every now and again.
Every Monday.
Every Monday,
Hour.
9 o'clock,
Yes.
purpose driven live.
Amen.
And I was saying, you know, this platform is for everybody.
Yeah.
So Rachel, whoever else is on here who would like to talk about purpose. I know that you've written some children's books, Rachel,
Yes,
which is
and she's got
amazing.
another book as well called
Yes.
Hyperemesis Gravidarum, I think it's called. HG, Obey
Oh,
Mother's
that
Experience. Yeah.
when you have really bad morning sickness, is that what it is?
Yeah, but I know it's
That's
past that.
the scientific word for that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Hyperemesis. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we need to do this. We need to definitely get more people talking and more people buying books, because the book All for Life is not easy.
Listen.
Yeah, we're not going to go into that.
Yeah, when we
But
come
we
off,
keep
we'll set some
moving.
dates and
We
stuff.
don't do it for anybody else's glory, but for his. So,
Amen.
you know, doesn't matter as long as one person has read what is in there.
And
That's
being
all we need.
touched and changed. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah. So I thank everybody for joining us.
Thank you for
I hope you
staying.
come
Whoever's
back.
left on, you done well, guys.
Yeah. And I love that people come on at all different times of the night and that they can go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
And if you've got any suggestions of people that you would love to hear their journey of purpose, let me know. And I will try and get in touch with them. All for Life, Rachel has put, yes, hashtag All for Life. It's a beautiful thing to realize a dream, though.
Yeah, 100%.
So for me, I'm going to choose the fact that the book was something I wanted to do for a long time, and it happened. So
yeah,
whatever happens after that,
you keep saying the book. What's it called, sis? Like
the book. I've written two. The first one was The Naked Truth About Having a Baby.
Okay.
And the second one, which I released in March, is called The Naked Truth About Marriage.
I love this. So it's all about the naked truth.
Yes, so
love
it's
that.
like the real thing, not no sugar coated stuff.
That should be interesting. Okay, cool. Good.
Yes, I will be talking more about the book launch. It's going to be in November.
Okay.
And yes, I think we can chat about relationships and all of that good stuff there. But yeah, it's going to be, oh gosh, sorry. Do you know what? I've got a window open. Did you see me? Like, because it was a fly, there's something flying. It was like, you know, you could hear the buzzing. It looked like a madman.
Like, what in the world?
I'm sorry, guys, but it just came right near me. I'm sorry. Right. Have a good evening. Some of us have got to wake up at 5:30 to go gym. I really pray that I'm going to
go, sis. I've been wanting to go to the gym. And I haven't
stop
found myself
talking about it.
I'm not going to talk about it. That was the end of my sentence.
Talk about it. Just do it. Out to bed. No covers. Yes, that's what the Naked Truth is all about. This fly is trying to harass me, so I'm going to go and leave you guys. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And yes, we will speak very,
definitely.
Very
All right.
Thanks again. All right.
Good night.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.